Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to our next webcast that we're bringing you from Travel Weekly as part of our Roadmap to Recovery series. And you will see that I'm joined once again by Steve Heapy, who is, of course, the Chief Executive of Jet2.com and Jet2 Holidays. So, hello, Steve, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Lucy. How are you?
Yeah, good. Now, it's a great day today for you guys at Jet2 because you've announced pretty impressive news today that you're opening another base. This is your 10th base from the UK, and you're going to be flying from Bristol.
That's correct, yeah. As you said, our 10th base. We will be starting operations from the 1st of April 2021, initially with 2 aircraft, increasing to 3 aircraft from May 2021. The programme will be flying to 33 destinations, over 50 flights a week, and it includes 4 new and exclusive destinations to Bristol, being Izmir in Turkey, Kalamata and Lesvos in Greece, and Almeria in Spain, mainland Spain. So it's a good announcement all round, really. It's new destinations, more capacity, more competition, and it's what our customers and travel agent partners have been asking for.
Brilliant. Well, it's great to be reporting on something so good and to be reporting on expansion because you know, we are in the middle of lockdown 2, as it's being referred to. And so I think some people might be surprised by this move, Steve.
Well, I think we've got to be optimistic, haven't we? I've been in the past quite critical of the pace at which some of the developments have been happening, testing, for example, etc. But over the last couple of weeks, we've had a little bit of good news. So first of all, testing. The government, I think, have committed to testing 1 million people a day. They've got the tests in Liverpool and I think Nottingham, whereby they're doing antigen tests. So that's a good place where they can see if this type of thing works, whether it's possible, work out the logistics, and maybe roll that out across the country. So that's one good bit of news. The second good bit of news is the news about the vaccine. And I am hopeful that it's passed a significant part of the stage 3 trials, and hopefully pretty soon the production of the vaccine will commence, very quickly ramp up, and the vaccine hopefully can be distributed. Now, we've got to hope that that will be done properly, quickly and efficiently. Of course, it needs
Steve, what do you mean by properly? I mean, obviously it's going to go to the frontline workers initially. So what do you mean when you say you hope it's done properly?
Well, first of all, the vaccine needs to be produced in sufficient quantities. Secondly, it's got to be distributed properly and perhaps evenly around the country. Coming from the north, I would hope that we get our quota up here. And it's got to be, I think, distributed under the right conditions as well. It's got to be kept at a low but stable temperature. So it can't go back in the back of the Luton van on the M1. It probably have to go in a refrigerated truck, and it's going to be logistically, I think, quite challenging. And then, of course, there is the question of how the vaccine is distributed. Now, I think the current thinking is that it will go to people in care homes, care home workers, NHS staff, understandably. There is an alternative school of thought that thinks maybe the vaccine should go to the people that need to get the economy going and the people that need to travel to get things going again, and because people that are at risk perhaps are sufficiently self-isolating and get the economy going as well. So we'll have to see what the government's response to that is. I would imagine.
Presumably, you're in that second school of thought where you think actually we need it to go to people that are, as you say, going to be the ones driving the recovery.
I think it has to be a balance. Yeah, I think obviously there are, frontline workers, etc., dealing with COVID patients all the time that we obviously should vaccinate. But there are perhaps cases for other people, perhaps, that are in roles that aren't described as critical frontline roles, whatever, that need to get the economy going again. We need to get people out. I think I've said before, people keep talking about the new normal. I don't want a new normal. I want the old normal. The old normal was pretty good. I quite enjoyed that. I don't want a new normal. I want the old one back. But to get the old normal back, we have to get the economy moving. We have to get people out and about again. We have to get shops open, people going into travel agents, booking holidays. So I don't think for the first few months that the vaccine can be perhaps restricted to a small group of people. I understand the reason for it, but I think we've got to take a longer term and a wider view and perhaps look at distributing to more people to try and get the economy going, because there's only so long we can carry on like this before lots and lots of businesses fail and people go bankrupt, etc. It's a tough call.
Yeah.
The government have a lot of tough decisions to make, but to get back to the original point, I think the news on the vaccine is certainly very, very positive. But,
and has that translated into kind of customer confidence, Steve? Because you were seeing a bit of that anyway when we got the corridor to the Canaries. That was good for you. We can talk about that. But have you, in the last couple of days, has the news of the vaccine sort of changed customer confidence and customer sentiment?
I think it has. As you said, when the Canaries corridor opened up, we saw a massive spike in bookings, which shows that despite the last 6 months we've been through, people want to get away on holiday. I mean, I'm looking at the window this morning, and up north it's pretty dull. It's a bit, it's dull, cold, damp, a bit miserable really. And I'm sure people would rather be looking out of their hotel window while they're having a nice breakfast and looking at the sun and the sea, etc. And people want to get away. A lot of people haven't been away this year, and I think it's quite healthy for people to get away. It's good, to have a break from things, and people want to do that. Over the last couple of days, since the news of testing came out and since the news of the vaccine, we have seen a slight uplift in bookings. And I think the longer the positive news comes out, I think confidence will start to recover. And that's what we've said in the past. I think what this industry needs is confidence. If people feel they can book a holiday and get away, then confidence will return and we'll be in a bit of a virtuous circle.
And the testing obviously will lead to this reduction in the length of quarantine on many destinations, or I mean some reports now they're talking about the removal of quarantine, which would obviously be great. But I mean, is that cause for more optimism as well for you, Steve?
It does. I think it might be a staged approach. I think the reduction in quarantine, I think initially it might be a reduction in quarantine coupled with the test. Yeah. Because obviously there's evidence to suggest that if people have a test on day one, they've got the virus, it's like a 6% chance of being caught, and on day 5, it's got a 70% chance, whatever the numbers are. So I think it may be initially a combination of a shorter period of quarantine and a test. Then perhaps when testing becomes more widely available or more accurate, the quarantine may be reduced further or even removed. But the silver bullet is the vaccine. And if the vaccine is rolled out and given to people, then hopefully that will mean we can get back to the old normal, not the new normal, but the old normal. And we can just book an award-winning flight or holiday with Jet2.com or Jet2 Holidays, go away and enjoy the sun. And, you've had the vaccine, so it's a bit, it'd be like having whatever, yellow fever or mumps. You just have the vaccine and then that's it.
Yeah. And you talk there about, looking ahead. And so you're saying about the government, we need to see what's coming up. But you're obviously planning ahead. You're obviously planning for when we do come out of this. I mean, Bristol is part of that because you're not launching that, the flights don't start till April the 1st. So you're obviously, lots of other people are hunkering down or hibernating. We've heard these words a lot, but that's clearly not something you're doing.
Well, I mean, as I said, I think the vaccine will be distributed eventually and things will start to recover. I don't think it's a case of if things recover, it's when. The question mark is how quickly things recover. But yeah, I think if you're driving a car, you need to look 10 feet in front of you, but you also need to look a couple of 100 yards ahead as well. And I think sometimes in situations like this, you become sort of obsessed, that you become very myopic and you just look at the here and now. And we've all, we're running long-term businesses, and we've got to think of how our businesses will operate in the long term, and we still got to look for opportunities, etc.
And so you were looking at Bristol then for some time. This wasn't like a opportunistic, decision during lockdown or something. This is something you've been planning for some time. You've seen an opportunity there.
Yeah, I mean, we look at opportunities all the time. I mean, we didn't wake up yesterday morning and think, let's go to Bristol. We've been talking about planning things for quite some time. So yeah, it's not a snap decision. It's been considered in great detail. There are positives and negatives with it. We've weighed up the risk against the reward, and it's something we want to do. And I think it'll prove to be a very wise decision. But yeah, you have to look further ahead as well as over the next few days and weeks. It's been a very popular move with our independent travel agent partners. There's some big players there. Here's towards the south coast. We've got Miles Morgan Travel, mid-counties, and there's a number of smaller independent travel agents or groups. And we've heard from them and our customer base for some time that they want to see us at Bristol. Many in the Bristol catchment area have travelled to Birmingham before to go on one of our flights or holidays, and we're pleased to be bringing it to Bristol.
Brilliant. And you mentioned competition there, Steve, because of course Bristol has been sort of stronghold of TUI, your rival. You coming into Bristol now, offering that range of destinations and some exclusive ones as well. I mean, that certainly adds competition, doesn't it?
It does, yes, and competition's healthy. As far as the consumer's concerned, competition should reduce prices and increase quality. Yes, it is competition, but we are confident. We are, sorry to go on about this again, Lucy, but you fully expect it. Multi-award winning, best top 10 airlines in the world according to TripAdvisor, which recommended provider, lots and lots of awards, including Travel Weekly awards. Thank you to everyone that votes for us. And of course, our record in the lockdown on refunds has been exemplary, much better than many of our competitors. In fact, Money Saving Expert put Jet2.com and Jet2 Holidays at number 1 and the 2 in the refund charts. We won Daily Telegraph Awards. So we're very confident, because I think people will look back and say, actually, I paid for something that wasn't delivered and I still haven't got my money back. That's not very fair. So I'm not going to book with that operator again, because, why should I not get my money back? However, I've heard about this fantastic company called Jet2.com and Jet2 Holidays that have refunded very quickly, because I read about it on the Martin Lewis website. So I think that will certainly help us, the fact that we have been very honourable through this period and respected the fact people didn't get what they paid for and refunded the money as quickly as we can.
It wouldn't be an interview with you, Steve, if you didn't mention your awards. I expect it. I mean, have you had to increase your beds overseas for this Bristol programme, or are you anticipating a slightly, obviously less capacity next year, so you can sort of move people around, I guess?
Our capacity for summer 21 will be down on what we expected, which isn't a surprise to anyone. And we've been busy working with our hotel partners. First of all, may seem a novel idea to some people, but we've been paying our hotel partners everything they're owed. And secondly, we've been working with them on growing relationships, making sure we've got the right hotels. Many hotels have approached us that previously have been in exclusive relationships that want a new partner that will work with them on a win-win basis. And we've been going through our hotel portfolio and making sure it's the right one for our programme. So we're very excited about our hotel portfolio for summer 21, and I think our customers will see that also. We're pretty confident.
You've chosen your words carefully there, Steve, but there's a veiled dig underneath that, I think. You're talking about partners choosing the right partners. You're talking about hotels not being paid, so do you want to elaborate on that?
Well, I think we know that there are some tour operators that don't pay their hotel partners or will pay them, sometime towards the middle of next year. I don't think that's right. We refund our customers money because it's their money. We pay our hotel partners because we have contracts in place with stipulated payment terms, and we stick to the contracted payment terms and pay our hotel partners. So it's basically treating our partners with respect. I can only speak for what we do. Other people may not be doing that, but again, our hotel partners are businesses to run. They need paying, and we're doing that. And it's
will they be able to make those decisions then to work with people like yourselves, or are they too tied into other contracts with other operators?
Some are tied in, but these contracts don't run forever, and some hotel partners have found themselves not being tied into exclusive arrangements, and they can go to the open market, and instead of having one customer, they can have many customers, i.e. many tour operations partners.
And do you think that's something we're going to see a lot of after this pandemic? Do you think that's going to be a trend?
I think it may be, because if you have an exclusive arrangement with a tour operator and you're a hotel, you basically have one customer, that one tour operator. And it's not a very strong business model to have one customer. You need to have a diversified portfolio. And, why would you just have one tour operator customer when you can have lots of tour operator customers? You're not tied into one. It's a stronger business model. And I think hotels are realizing that. The more customers you have, the broader customer base you have, the stronger your business model.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, another point about your expansion into Bristol, Steve, is that you're creating a lot of jobs. I mean, I think you've said about 200 jobs initially, which is fantastic, because we're obviously in a period where people have been losing their jobs. And actually, you had to let a few people go at the start of this. Are you able to re-employ some people now for this new part of your business, for this expansion?
I would hope so. I mean, we did have to, unfortunately, reduce the size of the company to some extent earlier on in the year. It was what we had to do. We had no sight over what the future would be like. And we had to make these tough decisions. We will be starting operations from Bristol, and I very much hope that some of the people that were with us previously can join us again. You have to make the decision based on the information you have at the time.
Of course.
And the best information we had meant that we had to take those actions. It's very unfortunate, but we have to look after the company as a whole going forward. And I think we treated people with as much respect as we could. It's an unfortunate and a very difficult thing to do. Nobody likes doing it, but it's what you have to do for the company and the remaining sets of colleagues.
Yeah, to protect those people, of course.
Exactly,
okay.
Yeah.
But the jobs that you're going to be creating, I presume they're pilots, cabin crew, people at the airport, reps, maybe?
Yeah, engineering, our flight deck, cabin crew, ground operations, our famous red team, the people in the red jackets that welcome people and help them with their cases and give them fantastic award-winning customer service. Yeah, I mean,
is that with your extra luggage allowance as well, Steve?
It is 22 kilograms, absolutely, in addition to 10 kilograms on board. But yeah, I mean, customer service is not something we've sacrificed. Over the last few months, we have kept our very high levels of customer service because we think that people want value for money, and if you keep your levels of customer service up, that's what people want. They don't want the product to be less attractive. So we will keep our red team in the same sort of numbers as before, and look after our customers properly, because that's what they want. A lot of customers, they travel once a year. The airport experience can be quite daunting. On board an aircraft is quite daunting in the resort. And particularly at the moment with the way things have been, customers want that little bit of hand-holding. They don't want to be told, if you want to contact us, download this app and deal with us in that way. My mum and dad don't have smartphones, and they don't therefore have access to apps. They want to speak to a proper person, and I think a lot of people want that. So I don't think you can sort of force people to go down one road or another because it suits your particular company. If people want to speak to people, well, we've got them available. If they want to use the app, we've also got an app, but you choose. You are the boss. As far as I'm concerned, the customer has always been king, or queen, obviously, and always will be. We listen to our customers because at the end of the day, they're the ones that pay my wages.
Absolutely. I mean, it's great. You're a leader of a big company in our industry, and it is great. You do seem to be quite optimistic, even though we are in lockdown and all the rest of it. So, and I think a lot of travel agents will be listening to this, Steve, and they were back in their shops, but then lockdown came along. They're now probably back at home again. And I know you've talked a lot about breathing life back into the high street. It's still tough out there for agents, but what would be your advice?
It's similar to that given before. I don't think any of us can sit around and wait for things to recover and, us for the phone to ring or people to get on the website and travel agents for the ability to open the shops again. I think we all have to cultivate our own databases of customers, contact them. We can't wait for people. We've got to try and generate the business. So our travel agent partners have their local databases, contact people by phone, send them letters, send them emails, and try and provide that fantastic personal service that they do provide, but in a slightly different way. Do it over the phone rather than asking people to come into the shops, and you can still generate the business. You can still build the anticipation and the excitement. There's a lot to be excited about. Testing is getting better. The vaccine is on its way. Now is the time to start looking forward to your holiday. Look out the window. It's bloody awful. Book a holiday and have something to look forward to. Look at this picture behind me. I'm not really in Greece, but wouldn't you rather be there than in where we are at the moment in the UK, in the drizzly, dark, damp weather?
Yeah, and for those agents, in the Bristol catchment area, I'm sure you'll be providing loads of materials and support for them to get that message out as well, that you can now get a Jet2 holiday from Bristol.
Yes, my fantastic colleague, Alan Cross, and his team have started this morning contacting travel agent partners. Obviously, they will be contacting each and every one of them, arranging product training, giving them all the material need. And of course, our support. We have lots of people on the road at the moment. It's a virtual road. We are contacting people via Zoom, etc., and over the phone. But we're providing the same level of support as we always do. And we're there for our travel agent partners. Whatever they need, we'll be there for them. And we will hold a hand all the way to learn about our product and our business. And very importantly, our sort of ethics and the way we do business. I think we try to be very honourable and very fair with our travel agent partners. We can't please all of the people all of the time, but we try to please most of them most of the time, and I think that works. So Alan and his team have been working very hard and going to be working even harder.
Absolutely. Now, finally, Steve, you are a proud Northerner. You remind me of it every time we speak. And you once told me that you were not going to come south with your business, with your airline, with your tour operation, and then you launched Birmingham, and then you sneaked into Stansted, and now you're into Bristol. Are we going to see you move into Gatwick at any point?
We have no plans to, Lucy. I mean, we've been through 6 months of the COVID-19 environment. We've announced Bristol today. We're going to be concentrating for quite a while on putting capacity back into our existing bases, and of course starting our Bristol operation and making sure that it provides a good a product as any. So I did say that at the time because it wouldn't have probably been very wise of me to say, oh yes, we're thinking of going to Birmingham and Stansted, because that would have rather given the game away. But yes, I am a proud Northerner. I think it was described by one of the commentators to a previous interview as being common, very common, which I took as quite a compliment, actually. Yeah, I guess I am. I'm a northerner, and I live in a normal street in a normal town with our customers.
Lovely. All right. Well, let's finish it there. I don't want to remark on whether you're common or not. So I think we'll stop the interview there. You can take that anyway, can't you? You're definitely not normal. You're unusual. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I take that as a compliment. Thank you.
All right. Well, listen, it's great to speak to you as always. We're delighted that you're expanding. We're delighted you're creating jobs. We're delighted you're giving more opportunity for travel agents to sell your product. And we wish you all the best at Bristol.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you to all our travel agent partners over the last 6 months. We've helped them as much as they can. They've been working very closely with us, and we've been working together very closely. And I hope that when we come out of this the other side, I can guarantee we will be there for them, and I know they'll be there for us. So thank you to everyone. Keep your chins up. Things are getting better, and we will be there for you whenever you want us.
Brilliant. All right, Steve. Speak to you again soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.